And we are live on another edition of the K&K special. I'm sorry, the K&K Sports Show, but we're actually doing a K&K Sports Show special tonight. The March Madness bracket is out. Kurt Valenti, Carson Shear, Kenny Kirkpatrick is here. We're going to break it down. Let's just go opening statement. You know, what a difference a year makes. A year ago, I was pissed, fired up because we got screwed. But you know what? We didn't get screwed this time. Big East champs, first time in 25 years. I'm so fired up as a 2-seed. Talking about 2 seeds, not just my team, but also Mr. Carson Shear's Michigan State Spartans. What's up, my friend Carson? How are you?
What's going on, guys? How you doing, Kurt? Congrats, St. John's, Big East, regular season champs and tournament champs. I was watching that game last night, back and forth with Creighton, much well deserved. And yeah, what's going on, everybody in the chat? Yeah, Michigan State 2-seed had that heartbreaking loss yesterday to Wisconsin. But like I said, you know, it all matters next week in March. All bets are off. Everybody's on a fresh playing field, and let the madness begin.
And there's our good friend Graham saying tongue twisters are tough. Ha ha ha. What is up, Graham? That is our backstage producer, Graham, chiming in. What's up, Graham?
What's up, Graham?
Mr. Kirkpatrick, what do you got? I know you're fired up for this. You love March Madness, correct?
I love March Madness. I'm truly happy for both you guys because I really do believe in my heart you guys both have a good shot of getting to the Final Four. And then we'll go from there. But excited. I've been watching a lot of St. John's games. I've been watching a lot of Michigan State games. You guys got 2 good teams, and let's go. And, you know, March Madness, it's about the upsets. I love the upsets. You know me with the upsets. We got a nice show lined up for you. Talk about some upset specials. And, you know, we're going to break down some brackets, and we're going to talk about, you know, the tournament in general. So, and we got special announcement coming up too. So, you know, excited about that. Hope, you know, we'll get some people coming in and we can explain that. But I'm ready to bet the ball
Kenny,
rolling.
real quick, you know what, Kenny? As a tradition, you, myself, Carson, Jenny Hoops, and Jody Moncrief always do a conference tournament bracket. It's a little fun thing. We threw $10 into the winner. And I want to say it was all close, but congrats to Jody Moncrief because he was hot. And you know what? I mean, me and Jen were doing the brackets and we were like, oh, look at this homer picking Colorado State. You know what? That Mountain West, he scored 62 points in that bracket. Basically got a perfect bracket. He had Boise and Colorado State. And that's what made him win this bracket. So congrats to
Jody. That was a nice one there. I had the SEC. I did good. I think that's what made me finish in 4th and not 5th. But Carson and I are going to come back with the next one we got. We're gonna do good in that one.
Shout out to Jody. Jody in his first conference bracket, he won it. So he will be getting the $50 donation.
Nice.
So,
congrats, Jody.
Nice little bracket pool, you know, that's something a little nice to get going.
All right, Kurt. I think Carson, before we get into the official brackets, Carson's got a special March Madness Carson's Corner for us with a few questions for us in the chat. So let's get the ball rolling with that, and then we'll get into the brackets as people start rolling in.
Nice. Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, so I got a couple questions to start off the show. I was actually talking to Joey Clams on the phone, and he laughed at me with this number. So I think I'm going to bump it down a little bit. I actually looked up the history of the amount of upsets. I believe there was 9 upsets last year in the first round. I think the previous year there was 10. So I had the original number as 10.5, but we'll go with a nice solid 8.5. Over under 8.5 upsets, guys, in the first round, Thursday, Friday, round of 64. Over or under, Kenny?
Oh, I was going over 10.5. So you knocked it down to 8.5. Pushing all the chips in. All of them are in, Carson.
Nice.
Let's go. A double-digit upset wins in this tournament. Let's go.
Real quick, Roy Osborne, a good friend. Hey there, guys. Wanted to come in and say hi. What's up, Roy? I'm sorry, Carson. What was your final number?
8.5 in the first round. 8.5 upsets.
I'm going to go over.
Nice. Yeah, I'll go over as well. Always, like Kenny was saying, I'm always rooting for the upsets. It's going to be awesome. We'll kind of rephrase this question, guys. There was 14 teams in the SEC that made the tournament. That's actually a NCAA tournament record, by the way. So I'll rephrase. The original question was, which conference is going to win the championship? I'll say SEC or the field. Kenny?
I'm going to go to field. But I was going to go against the SEC because just that many teams you can get good odds somewhere else. Kurt's conference, the Big East. You got St. John's there as the 2 seed. I think they can go really far, and I hope for Kurt they can get to at least Final Four and talk about national championships when you get to the Final Four. Carson, we were talking before we came on. Marquette's a dangerous 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the returning champs, UConn, at the 8. If they can get by their first round and knock off Florida, watch out for UConn. And then Creighton as well in that 8-9 matchup's a dangerous team for a 1 seed to face there. So give me the Big East, but also the field, obviously. But the Big East would have been my choice to pull off the upset over the SEC.
Nice. Kurt, SEC or the field to win the national championship?
You know what? When I look at it, you're saying listen, it was the best conference, 2 1 seeds, and, give them props, right? But if you're going to say to me, I can have Michigan State, St. John's, Duke, Houston, Kentucky. You know what? I'm going to take that. I really am. I'm going to take the field. I mean, obviously the SEC is stacked. It's the best conference, but I just think there's so many other good teams that, I'm going to take the field.
Nice.
Guys, Mark and Roy both saying hello. What's up, guys?
What's going on? Yeah, I'm filling out my bracket. We'll get to the our picks for the national champion. I think the SEC, just their conference alone, is a gauntlet, and I think it's going to play out in this tournament. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I see a bunch of crazy upsets and teams like Florida and Bama and Auburn get bounced out early. But I think they're just too overstacked. They damn near had double the amount of teams that the Big Ten had, the second most with 8. So I'm going to go with the SEC. A couple more questions here. Who do you think has a chance to win it all as a 4 seed or lower? I'm going to go first. I think this Maryland team is really good. Derek Queen, Big Ten Freshman of the Year. He's going to be a lottery pick. There's something about this Maryland team. They finished 25-8 on the year. They got a pretty good draw, in my opinion. And if they get hot, they start making threes. I'm going to go with Maryland as a legit chance. They're top 12 in the Ken Pom ranking right now. I'm going to go with Maryland as a chance to win it all. So, guys, 4 seed or lower for fun. It's kind of hard to pick this, but if you had to pick a team that you could see making a deep run to possibly win the national championship, we'll go with Kenny.
When I looked at the brackets, it's hard, like you said, to pick a 4 or a lower seed, Carson. But I looked and I said, everybody in the world is going to have Duke or Alabama going to the Final Four, going to maybe even win it all. This could be the bracket buster of the brackets, in my opinion. If you can knock off Duke, we don't know what Cooper Flag is going to be like, and you can knock off Alabama. Team to watch out for here, Joey Clams has been high on them last year. The Oregon Ducks, I think, got a sleeper chance here as a 5 seed to get to the Final Four. And then when you're in the Final Four, anything can happen. So give me Oregon and in the East, pulling off the upset over to Duke and Bama getting there and winning it all.
Nice. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. They were a top 25 team, and they were the 8 seed in the Big Ten tournament. But Oregon's a great pick. Kurt, 4 seed or lower that could win it all?
I'm going to be honest. I don't like a lot of teams after the 4 seed. I mean, I would agree with you, Carson, with Maryland. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go with the 8 seed Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think whoever wins that 1-8 Houston Gonzaga matchup, I think goes into the Final Four. I think that team goes to the national title. I'm going to go Gonzaga. They're not an 8. I mean, that's crazy for a 1 seed to have to play them. I mean, they're a top 5 preseason team. They just beat St. Mary's in the conference championship. I would not want to play them. So I'm going to say Gonzaga.
Yeah,
Carson, Don's saying ECC. What's up, Don?
Hey, what's up, Don? How you doing? I like Gonzaga a lot, and you'll see later on in the show, foreshadowing, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. You can never count them out in March Madness. But that's a great point, Kurt. Houston, that is a very tough draw for the second round if Gonzaga makes it there. So Definitely. We got one more final question. This is a great question that Kenny brought to me. Give me a double-digit seed, 10 seed or lower, that can make the Sweet 16. So they win 2 games, make it to the next weekend. I'll start right off the bat. I was telling you guys this. UC San Diego, Joey Clams is really high on this team. I have a bunch of Michigan fans that are scared for this matchup. This team shot 38% from 3. They won 30 games this year. They're the 12 seed. UC San Diego is a great pick to make the Sweet 16. That's who I'm picking. So double-digit seed or lower guys that can make it past the first weekend. We'll go to Kurt first.
You know what? I got 2 of them. I'm going to go in that bracket, and I thought about UC San Diego, but I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with Yale. Did it last year, right? Upset Auburn. Talk about shooting. You know, they could shoot. They're smart. They play good defense. I'm going to go Yale, and I'm also going to go with Drake. I'm going to take Drake as an 11. I think they upset Texas Tech. I don't think they're getting by my Johnnies, but I'm going to take Drake. I'm going to go Drake and Yale. Don's saying I think Memphis can surprise people.
I like that.
They're athletic.
For sure. Kenny, double-digit seed to make the Sweet 16.
It's funny. I got 2 and 2 that Kurt don't have, but one of us is going to be wrong, Carson, because you think Maryland could be a sleeper to go to the final, to win it all, Final Four.
Yeah.
I think Grand Canyon can upset Maryland. And you know how Kurt gets on coaches? Well, I got to get on Kevin Willard. Okay. Did you watch that game against Michigan? 6 seconds to go, and you let him get past the ball to Thompson. You don't put anybody on him, and he marches right down the court. And guess what? I don't want to get into it, but Kenny lost a 14 parlay because of that.
Oh.
So.
Well, that's okay. Well, guys, listen to this. I did conference tournament bets. Like, I bet like 6 teams, 8 teams, Duke, whatever. So I still won. I won 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But my good friends, Bruce Pearl, you know what they cost me? Ready? They cost me 4 separate, 8-team conference tournaments. They cost me at least $6,000.
Wow. Gotta love parlays. Never hit them, but they're fun to play.
But you know what?
Casinos love them.
I'll take care of Auburn when I fill out this bracket. Trust me.
Bruce Pearl will be watching the games on CBS in 2 weeks. But my other one, Carson, I'm really high on, and I watched this game yesterday. They were down 18 in their tournament versus Miami, Ohio. Watch out for the Akron Zips. Possibly even getting into like an Elite 8. That's how good they are. They got some shooters. They got some size.
Are good, Kenny.
That coach is pretty good, and they're a veteran team. Watch out. That's a dangerous team out there in the MAC. And the MAC has done pretty well in these tournaments. Ohio had a couple good players, but they have like the MAC player of the year. He's really good. I think his last name's Johnson, but he's really good. Nice. Watch out for Akron Zips.
Well, LeBron always wanted to play college basketball, so he's got his Akron team in the dance. So there you go. That's kind of my little top topic, guys, for Carson's Corner.
Thanks, Carson. We got a few people in. You want to make a first announcement on our bracket challenge, and then we'll do another one later for those who come in later on.
Sure. Yeah. So, guys, we've done this for like the 5th year in a row. It's been awesome. Kurt, Kenny, Paul, and I, we're all teaming up. We're doing our own bracket tournament challenge. It's free to play. It's on ESPN, the Tournament Challenge app. A lot of people are down that app right now as we speak. So if you guys want to play for fun, all we ask that you guys do is just be subscribed to my channel, Ticket Time, on YouTube, as well as the K&K Sports Talk Show on YouTube as well. The top 3 winners are going to get prizes. And if you do end up winning, please contact either Kenny or myself within 72 hours after the national championship game. So I'll put the link in the chat. And it's totally free to play. And all you got to do is just make a bracket and sign up and have some fun.
Absolutely.
There's Eddie Murphy. Good evening, gentlemen. Nets are going to be national champs. Book it now. LOL.
There you go.
But it's funny, like you get these mid majors that you don't watch too much on. And yesterday I was watching that Grand Canyon Utah Valley game late at night. I was at work, and they had their white and green, like old school uniforms, said Wolverines on it, and they were white and green, almost looked like the Celtics uniforms. But the San Diego, University of California, San Diego, Division III, couple years ago, turned to Division II. This is their first year of eligibility. Congratulations to them. Hot team, the Tritons. Love that name.
Kenny, real quick, our good friend Trevor Salzman, Denver Bronco Roundup. What's up, boys? Happy March Madness.
What's up, Trevor? There? And there's the link. Trevor, Eddie, you just came in free of charge. You know, join our ESPN brackets. We got some nice prizes for you all, some gift cards. Make sure you like K&K and Ticket Time. Go click on that link and join, guys. It's free of charge. All right, guys. I think it's time to get into the brackets. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Right, Kurt, I'm going to pull them up. Let's get into it. We got the top half of the East, Kurt.
Okay.
Why don't we do it this way, Kurt? I'll give me a sleeper out of this top bracket here. You know, want to do it that way, Kurt? Sleeper, then just sleeper or a chance at an upset in this first round.
My sleeper is going to be BYU. I think very good team again. Smart defense, and they could shoot the lights out. I'm going to take BYU as a 6 seed as my sleeper out of this bracket.
Like it. Carson, you got a sleeper here?
Sleeper, yeah, you got to go with the Liberty Flames. That 12-5 matchup is always intriguing. 28-6 year. It seems like every year in March Madness you hear about the Liberty Flames. So 12 seed Liberty.
When you say sleeper, Kenny, you just mean first round upset or sleeper to get to like
a sleeper to like the that can win this whole thing, like at least that can beat Duke and Alabama.
Gotcha.
We'll say anything after a 2 seed, the top 2 seeds. And I just said Akron. I like Akron, and I had Oregon going to it all. So that could be a second round matchup there. Oregon, Akron, and somebody getting a chance to play Duke in that.
There's our good friend and champion Jody Moncrief saying Baylor 14 losses and makes 0 sense.
Oh, there's a couple, Jody. If we got time, we'll talk about the snubs and the teams that shouldn't have gotten in. But yeah, you know what? I'll go Akron. I think they're going to upset. Good chance of upset in Arizona. 12-loss team there in the Big 12 with a 4 seed. I think they're a little high ranked in my opinion. So give me the Zips. How about an upset, Kurt? We just did sleepers, so we don't have to do upset. What else do you want to do here, Kurt?
Like I said, all right. So let's just get your who advances, who goes to the Sweet 16 out of this bracket.
Sweet 16 out of this bracket. I'm gonna go. Man, I want to go Akron. I'm gonna go Duke Akron.
Well, there's 4 teams out of the bracket.
Oh, yeah, it's right on the bottom. You're talking. Okay, so you know what? Give me Duke, and give me. No, you know what? Give me Oregon, and give me Alabama. Alabama, Oregon.
You're confusing me here. There's 4 teams in the East. Are you going East, or you're just going bottom bracket? I'm sorry, you're confusing me.
4 teams in the. I'm confused. I'm sorry. 4 teams in the East. Give me Duke, Akron, Alabama, and give me BYU.
All right, my four coming out. I'm going to go Duke, Oregon, BYU, Alabama. Carson.
Yeah, mine's very chalky. 1 through 4: Duke, Arizona, Wisconsin, Alabama.
Okay.
Don's taking the girl with the baton. All right, so let's move on to the next bracket. Sorry about that little confusion at the beginning. We're going to go to Midwest. We're going to go to South. I'm sorry, South. We got Auburn, overall number 1 seed. I don't agree with that. Losing 3 out of our last 4 games and not looking good lately. There's Carson's UC San Diego over his rival Michigan Wolverines. On the bottom of the bracket, they're maybe hoping for a Michigan State-Michigan matchup there. And you got a Big East, Marquette, New Mexico, nice first-round matchup. The team not listed there for some reason is Bryant. Bryant, one of the mid-majors, won their conference. They'll be facing Michigan State in the first round.
Yeah.
But Kurt, sleeper in this bracket.
Sleeper, I'm going Yale. I like Yale. They got a big win last year over Auburn. And again, don't be surprised. I'm telling you, these Big East teams here, I would not want to play. All right. I would not want to play Creighton if I'm Auburn, right? Hey, they got the big guy. You just saw Creighton has a big guy, right? And Creighton could shoot the rock. And you know what? If I'm Michigan State, I think Michigan State's toughest game is going to be that second round game, Marquette or New Mexico. Because listen, Marquette are dogs. They're going to come in. They're going to punch you in the mouth. They're physical. That was a war Friday night. St. John's in the semifinal. And Marquette has experience. And, New Mexico too. Those two games, but that Marquette and Creighton, those teams, scary. I'm going to say Yale because they're the lower number, but I think don't be shocked if Creighton beats one of those two. The Big East teams upsets one or two.
Like it, Kurt. Carson, sleeper in this bracket.
Man. Yeah, like you guys were saying, that New Mexico and Marquette game is very dangerous. Michigan State has played Marquette before in March Madness. And even with the Lobos, I know Kenny was really high on them last year. Got knocked out in the first round, unfortunately, but they're looking for revenge this year again. So those two teams, that's a scary matchup. I always think the 8-9 game has a legit chance to knock off the 1 seed in any of these regions. Any given year, the 1 seed is always up for grabs for an upset in the second round because that 8-9 matchup is always a dogfight, 50-50 coin flip. They're going in with house money. And I think, Louisville, they got to the ACC tournament last night. I think Louisville could knock off Auburn.
Like it. Creighton, like Kurt said, I could see them knocking Auburn, like you guys both said. UC San Diego's there. That looks like a nice upset. Yale, a lot of people are going to pick that upset. I'm going even higher. This might be the highest one this is probably going to be the highest one that I have on my list, on my bracket. Going Lipscomb over Iowa State as a steep sleeper in this first round.
By the way, Kenny, there was breaking news. Iowa State, I believe it's either their first or second scorer who's been like playing and out. He's officially out for the tournament. So
wow. That's good. And then don't sleep on San Diego State. North Carolina gets in, I think, because of their name. I heard that they were 1-12 against quad 1 schools. San Diego State gets by North Carolina. Don't be surprised if they beat Ole Miss with their experience in the tournament. So good coach over there. Don't sleep on San Diego State advancing, kind of like a UCLA did a couple years ago, winning a couple games. Don't be surprised if San Diego State makes it a little further. All right, Kurt, back to you.
All right, so give me your Sweet 16. I'll start it off. My 4 coming out of this bracket to the Sweet 16 is I'm going to go Auburn. I'm going to go Yale. I am going to go Iowa State, and I'm going to take Michigan State. Carson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Auburn. Texas A&M, I think is a dangerous team, so I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go Iowa State. But again, even that Ole Miss, that Ole Miss San Diego State UNC game, that could potentially cause problems. But similar situation: Auburn, Texas A&M, Iowa State, and Michigan State.
Kenny.
I'm going to be a little different. I am going to go Auburn, close in a dogfight, beating Creighton. So I got Auburn advancing. I'm going to go with that 5-12 upset, and I'm going to go UC San Diego beating – I'm going to go 12-13 matchup, so one of those double digits get there, and it's going to be UC San Diego. And then on the bottom, I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to go Ole Miss and Michigan State.
Okay.
Nice.
A couple more brackets. We got the Midwest, Kurt. Top seed there, Carson, Houston. 8-9 matchup looks very good. Gonzaga, good team, top team ranked early in the season. McNeese State is back. They were a hot pick last year. They get the 12 seed. Purdue, High Point. Purdue might have been a little overrated here, in my opinion. We'll see where we go with our picks. Then you got Illinois versus Texas, a big question mark, and Xavier also getting in from the Big East. Kentucky, maybe a little highly ranked there, 3 seed. UCLA, Utah State, and Tennessee, Wofford on the bottom. Sleeper team out of this bracket, Mr. Valenti.
Adrian Brown is saying go Michigan.
What's up,
Saying
Adrian?
My sleeper here is Gonzaga, Kenny. You guys think I'm crazy. If you said to me right now, I think Houston and Gonzaga are the best 2 teams in this bracket. I do. I don't trust Tennessee. You know that. I don't trust. I mean, Kentucky's, those kids are injured. Don't even talk about Purdue in that group. But I'm telling you, like, if you said to me most confident, I think the winner of that Houston Gonzaga game is going to come out of it. So I'm going Gonzaga as my sleeper as an 8 seed. I'm sorry, as an 8 seed.
Carson, you got a sleeper in this bracket for us?
Yeah, Kurt's barking up my tree. I mean, we'll get to Final Four later, but the Gonzaga Bulldogs, man, they were an unranked team, but their metrics are off the charts in every single analytical ranking, top 10 everywhere. So Gonzaga is an interesting one. That High Point Purdue game, Kurt, that High Point team, I think, could upset Purdue. Every year,
I'm picking them.
Matt Painter has been very questionable. It's unbelievable. If you look at Matt Painter's track record the last 5-6 years, he has upset after upset after upset after upset. With that St. Peter's run, that North Texas, obviously the FDU crazy 16 seed. Purdue is very suspect in March Madness. So that High Point team, 29-5, that 13-4, that could totally happen. So I'll go with High Point as well. High Point and Gonzaga.
You guys know where High Point is? I don't. That's why I'm asking. I don't have it pulled up. I was just curious because that game is in Providence. I was just wondering if they're going to.
They're in North Carolina.
Okay, so they might travel pretty well up to Rhode Island. So that's going to be definitely interesting to see. I think Purdue a little overrated there. Give me the team that everybody was high on last year, the first round upset. Give me McNeese as a sleeper in this bracket, boys.
They're back. They're back,
and they want 27-6 record. They're back. I think, when it comes to looking at these teams, Illinois got blown out in the Big Ten. Kentucky, like Kurt said, UCLA, Utah State doesn't do much for me. Tennessee, they always seem to do well and then throw in a clunker. Why not? Why not take a shot here with McNeese being a sleeper in this bracket? You know what,
Kenny? Can I say one thing about that? That team, Clemson, is one of the most what's the word? Just questionable teams to me, right? I could see them losing a first round game, but remember that team almost got to a Final Four last year. Those kids are back, right? I mean, I saw them beat up Duke. But again, I don't trust them. That's the thing. I don't trust them.
I don't think a lot of people trust them. That's why they're on the 5 line.
But again, you talk about experience, and they are one of the most experienced teams. Come tournament time,
Yep. All right, Kurt, back to you.
All right. I'm gonna go with my 4. I'm gonna go Houston. I just think that Houston Gonzaga game, I can't pick against Houston. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm telling you, whoever wins that game is coming out of this bracket. I will go Clemson. I will go Kentucky, even though I think Texas or Xavier, and I think Xavier is going to win that game. I think Xavier has a chance to upset Kentucky, and I'll take Tennessee. So Houston, Clemson, Kentucky, Tennessee. Carson, you're 4 coming out for the Sweet 16.
This is probably my most interesting one here. Gonzaga, I'm really high on. Again, Mark Few, it just seems like he's been dying to get to the Final Four. Again, with that conference, I'll never count out Mark Few. So I got Gonzaga, Clemson, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Nice.
Kenny.
I'm going to be a little different. Houston, I'm going to have going. Gonzaga does have to get by Georgia. I mean, they were in the SEC. They got 20-12 records, so that's going to be tough. So I do have to go Houston because if Georgia does beat Gonzaga, Houston's going to beat Georgia.
Right.
But, give me McNeese State. I'm going McNeese. I'm going to be high on them getting to the Sweet 16. On the bottom, it gets a little going to be different. Kurt, you said it earlier. Watch out for this Big East. Give me Xavier getting to the Big East, getting to the Sweet 16, and Tennessee on the bottom. So I'm going to go Xavier.
Yeah,
Xavier's hot.
Xavier's hot.
And Xavier could be that team like UCLA was a couple years ago. They tend to do well in the tournaments. You know, they tend to get to at least a Sweet 16 when nobody expects them to. So give me them as a sleeper pick there.
Nice.
Our final bracket, Kurt, West. There's hashtag Norfolk State sitting at 116. Florida. We got Florida this year. We started that trend last year. They got blown out. They get rewarded with this year. They get Florida. So have fun, Norfolk State. But hashtag Norfolk State. Let's pull off the upset. A nice 8-9 matchup. UConn, Oklahoma should be a good one. 5-12 looks really good. Memphis, Colorado State. And then we talked about it. Grand Canyon, a hot team out there. Third year in a row in the tournament. They get Maryland. Bottom of the bracket, you got Drake. I mean, this bracket's loaded. Missouri's no slouch. Texas Tech, runners up, 3 seed in the Big 12. Kansas and Arkansas, the 7-10. Calipari and Self in the first round. And last but not least, Mr. Valenti, St. John's Red Storm. Congratulations on the 2 seed. Facing Omaha. I don't know too much about them, but they're facing Omaha. Kurt, for a sleeper in this bracket. I know you got to go against. This is if something was to happen to St. John's.
No. Listen, I'm going with the 11 seed Drake. I mean, every year this team is 27, 28, 30 wins. You know, this team knows how to win. Again, I like the teams that can shoot it, that they play smart, and I can just see them causing all kinds of issues from Missouri. And then I just do not trust Texas Tech. You know, Texas Tech is a team that can shoot them. You know, Texas Tech is always a team they'll shoot themselves in a game, but they can shoot themselves out of a game too, right? So I'm going to take Drake. I'm taking Drake as my upset.
Nice, Carson. What do you got?
Colorado State, that team, they just won the Mountain West. They got a bunch of great guards on that team. Memphis, they got a really nice young player he's going to be probably a lottery pick. For the life of me, I cannot remember his name off the top of my PJ Haggerty. He had like half their points against one of the quarterfinal games against Wichita State. He's their entire roster. So they're really relying on him to do well. But Colorado State, another 12-5. They always talk about the 12-5. Colorado State, I think, is a sleeper in this one.
Like it. There's a lot in this bracket. I'm going to go with that Grand Canyon Antelopes. Bryce Drew. Watch out for this kid Porter on Grand Canyon. And they got size. And with that, what I like about Grand Canyon, which I watched them last night and listening to them, they look for contact. They drive to the hole and they want contact on the offensive side. They are big. They're powerful. They can shoot the 3. Kevin Willard, do me a favor. Don't cover Porter if Grand Canyon's down 1 with 5 seconds, because that'll mean Grand Canyon's going to advance. This kid's that good. Watch out for Porter in the tournament. But that's my sleeper. I'm going to go with the Antelopes of Grand Canyon. But there's so many in this bracket. I almost wanted to pick UConn, but I was like, they're 2-time champions. How can I call them a sleeper? But an 8 seed, they technically are a sleeper. But all right, Kurt, Sweet 16 time.
Sweet 16, by the way, they just put out.
Oh, Roy is saying Omaha is in the Summit League. Not a bad team at all, Kurt.
Okay. All right. So I'll just start this off. I'm taking the 4 teams out of this bracket. I'm going Florida, Maryland, Drake, and my Johnnies. Carson.
Wow, this is a really tough one. I'm going to go Florida, Maryland, St. John's, and again, that Texas Tech team, I had them, but I think Missouri could get them. They can just get hot at the right time. I'll throw in Missouri for now.
Kenny.
This West bracket always has some crazy stuff going on. Florida gets there. Grand Canyon gets there. Drake gets there. And I'm not saying this because it's Kurt's team, but St. John's gets there.
Okay.
Nice. Did you see? I have to bring this up. We have a group chat, our K&K sports friends, and Paul couldn't make it. But when Omaha is playing St. John's, Paul said St. John's is going to be yelling their best "Omaha" in Peyton Manning's voice.
Yeah.
Is going to be putting in a play just for them. I thought that was hysterical.
That's great. All right, boys, we got about roughly 15 minutes left, Kurt. We still got our Final Four predictions. We got our national champion predictions.
Okay.
Off topic, we didn't put this in the agenda. Is there anything that you think the committee got wrong? Meaning, Kurt, like, is there somebody you would have put in and somebody you would have kept out in this tournament? I'll throw that question out at you guys. Little open agenda for a few minutes.
I know they're saying West Virginia got robbed, right, with North Carolina. I mean, listen, I know Cooper Flag didn't play Friday night, right? But when we were at the Garden watching the semifinal Marquette and St. John's, I was looking and like, oh, look at this. Duke's up, 18. They're going to blow them out. And the next thing you know, North Carolina comes back. I mean, it's still North Carolina, right? I know the 1-12 versus the quad ones. And again, we always get back to it. Is North Carolina a team that can beat anybody in this bracket? Yes. I mean, so I really don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I'm glad Xavier got in because they're a damn good team. Like Carson said, they were hot. They were beating Marquette in the quarterfinals by like 16. They blew that game. Marquette came back, but it's a team I wouldn't want to play, man. They got a big man. Again, good coach there, tough mentality. So same thing with Texas. I seen Texas lose stupid games, but I also seen Texas win big games. So I think they did get it right. Like I'd rather see those teams in than a Boise State. And I know like Jody might not like that, but Texas, Xavier, North Carolina, I kind of do like it. I do.
I like your thoughts there, Kurt. Carson, would you change anything?
I just find it hard to believe that Arkansas got an at-large bid. I understand that they're in the SEC, but I think they were kind of on the last four in or first four out list. But again, March Madness, it's all about the money. So they're trying to put the big name programs in those first four games. But Arkansas was kind of a shocker as an automatic bid in the SEC.
Yeah, I like with both your things. And I would have, like you said, Arkansas, but Texas getting in the play-in as an 11. That's the one I would have left out. Maybe West Virginia, like Kurt said. But maybe how about like a Dayton? Like we talk about Virginia Commonwealth. When you got a team that's so much better than everybody else, Dayton's there with them too. And Dayton doesn't get in because they only allow one team in the Atlantic 10. And Atlantic 10 is not a terrible conference. Maybe I would have let somebody like a Dayton in. Or I did watch that UC Irvine, UC San Diego game. UC Irvine, no slouch, and Utah Valley as well. But maybe you throw one of them teams on the 12 line against a 5, and we see what happens. But each year it seems like the committee goes in a different route. A couple years ago, they went with the mid-majors. I think it kind of burned them. So I think they're going with the powerhouses this year. The Texas gets in. The Arkansas, Calipari gets in. Of course, we talked about North Carolina getting in. I think the committee tries something different each year to try and see what will work in the future. Do we put North Carolina in, and do they make a run? Or if they lose and get blown out, you won't see that formula next year. You'll see them go back to maybe mid-majors. So that was my quick question. You guys want to throw a topic up? Anything real quick? Or
I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Kurt, back to you. You want to do the Final Four now, or you want to do something else?
Yeah, so let's get our Final Fours. We can, pick who we have coming in like the Elite Eight, and then who do you have coming out. We won't do the national champ. We'll save it. But I'm just gonna say, this. I think these brackets, when you look at them, I think like the first and second rounds, like Carson asked, that was a great question about 8.5, how many upsets, and there's a lot of chances for that, right? But I don't think you're going to see a lot of ones and twos, right? I mean, I think this year now when you get to, and I think this happens a lot, right? You'll get, okay, that 11 or 12 seed wins and gets to a Sweet 16, but then it's like back to reality, the better teams are going to go. And I think this year, when you really look at Auburn, right, Michigan State, Florida, St. John's, Bama, Houston, Tennessee, I mean, Duke, they've been the best teams, right? And like, why, like, I know it's one and done, but why is that going to change now, right? So how I looked at it is I don't have really any Cinderellas now, right? I don't. I think I'll start in, what's the first bracket, Kenny, we're in?
We're going to go East for the first.
Okay, the East. I think it's going to be Duke and Alabama. I think they're the two best teams in that bracket. But I am going to go an upset here. I am going to take Alabama going to the Final Four. I just think I like the coach. I still don't know if I trust Shire. Cooper flag injury. I know they're saying he's playing. I mean, what do you want them to say? He's not going to play. But that looked bad. And Alabama has the experience. Sears is like a baby Brunson to me. If you haven't seen him, watch him. Been to the final. They went last year to the Final Four, right? I'm taking Bama to come out of the East. Carson.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kurt. I think, Duke was impressive to me. I think, when Cooper Flag went down, I'm like, okay, we're going to really see the resilience of this Duke team. Are they for real without their best player, the number one pick? But again, it all comes down to guard play, and I think Bama just has a little bit more in it. This is the weird point in the bracket where do you go analytically? Do you go more with your heart, your head? Because once you get into the Elite Eight, you start to really kind of question, you're supposed to throw a couple upsets in here. It's what March Madness is all about. You don't want to be really too chalky. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Bama gets back to the Final Four.
You know what? I look at it when you get to this part two, I think the things you have to worry about is one is coaching, and I'll get to it when I talk about another bracket, but the coaching is so important here. You just see how when the Patinos, the Izzos. I mean, there's a reason why they're always going to the Final Fours, right? I mean, they are. It's just there's a reason why. And I also believe in defense, and then you know what? It's and the last thing is here, hand the ball to somebody. We're not running a play, just hand it and go get a basket. And I think the kid Sears is just special. So I'm going to take Alabama. Kenny.
Man, we're going to clean sweep this one, put this bet in.
Yeah.
I got Duke, Alabama as well, but I'm going to go Alabama because of this. When I look at this bracket, I think Duke, believe it or not, has a harder time. After that 8-9 matchup, that Oregon, Liberty, Arizona, or Akron, going to be tough for them. So if the bracket is busted because Duke doesn't get there, I say just not so fast, like Lee Corso would say. Here comes Alabama, rolls right through to the Elite Eight. St. Mary's, Wisconsin, BYU, VCU. I don't see them. Vanderbilt, I don't see them giving any threat to maybe Wisconsin if they're on. Throws a little threat out to Alabama, but I think they gave Alabama a clear road to the Elite Eight. So give me Duke, Alabama. And I got Alabama coming out of this one like you guys over Duke.
Nice.
Going to move on. We're going to go to the Midwest. South, rather. I keep saying Midwest. I don't know why I keep saying Midwest. But Elite Eight, Final Four, Kurt.
All right. My Elite Eight, obviously, is going to be 1 and 2 again. Auburn and Michigan State. Two teams that were 1 seeds. They didn't win their conference titles. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest person that, they didn't win the conference title, so that means they can't make a run in the tournament. I mean, I don't know. I just, listen, not that it doesn't matter to win it. Of course it does, but I don't get down if they don't win it. But you know what? Just something about, listen, Auburn has been the best team all season, right? Hands down. They have very impressed. Their resume is probably no one has a resume like them. But and I had Auburn beating Michigan State, but I crossed it out. Because you know what? I can't be a hypocrite to myself. This is about coaching. And you know what? There's no way in the world I'm taking Bruce Pearl over Tom Izzo in a situation like that. I watched me and Jen were watching the game versus Tennessee. When did they play that game? Yesterday?
Mhm.
So you got the National Player of the Year. What's his name?
Johnny Broom.
Johnny Broom. You're down 5 with like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Come down 3. Come down 3. Are you going to go inside to the Player of the Year? What? Maybe you go into him and then you kick it out. Never. Where's the timeout? Bring it in, get the ball inside.
Yep.
Never happened. And then he's smiling, press conference. We're not worried. You better be worried because you know what? They're not going. I'm sorry. The coaching, it was a disgrace last year against Yale, and it's going to burn them again. I'm taking Michigan State.
Let's go, Kurt.
I'll go next, Carson, because it's your bracket. He's going to be watching. Kurt's going to be flipping out Carson in about a week and a half on K&K because Bruce Pearl will be doing the March Madness on CBS and TBS, all those channels. He'll be doing the halftime show.
I was waiting for Kenny. I was waiting for to do the SEC championship today
because Creighton is going to beat them. I like Creighton's matchups against them. Kolkbrenner inside. Creighton's gonna surprise some people, and on the bottom it's Michigan State. And I'm not saying it because it's your team, Carson, but you get by that second round matchup. If you get by Bryant, that's going to be the winner of that Marquette, New Mexico. You get by them, and I think you got clear sailing to the Elite Eight. And give me Michigan State going to the Final Four.
You know what, Kenny? I'm going to tell you this: you're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. You know why? You're gonna be in the doghouse because can you go back to the bracket? Go back to the bracket, please. Do you know who Michigan State's playing?
Bryant. It didn't come up. I said
do you know who goes to Bryant?
No.
Jen's niece, Cassie.
Jen's niece.
And daughter, Cat. So what if Paul's watching right now and he don't see Bryant on that screen? You have a lot of people to answer to. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's funny. All right, Carson, it's your team, your bracket.
Yeah, I hate this. I'm gonna reverse jinx myself, hopefully, on this show. Again, Auburn, they're number 1 seed for a reason. I think they're just gonna match up well against anybody. They've got, winner of the Louisville Creighton game. They should get by that. And then I think they're going to get past Texas A&M in the Sweet 16. And then like you guys are saying, I think it's Auburn, Michigan State. This is a really tough pick. Do I go with my head or my heart? I got to go with the Ken Pom though. I just think Auburn and Bruce Pearl, the size, and Johnny Broom, they're hungry. And I hate to do it, but I'm going to go with Auburn to the Final Four in the South. I hope I'm wrong.
Yes, obviously. Definitely hope you're wrong. Midwest, fellas. Kurt, your Elite Eight, Final Four.
My Elite Eight is going to be, again, it's tough because, again, I would go Houston. I'm going to go Houston, but I'm taking whoever Gonzaga, Houston, but I will go Houston. I'm going to go Tennessee just because I could see Kentucky beating them, but I'm going to go Houston and then over Tennessee. And this is, again, defense will just clamp down on this team, on Tennessee. I'm going to go Houston.
Carson.
You know what? That 8-9 matchup, whoever gets past that is going to beat Houston, and I think Gonzaga is going to do it. There's something about this team that just doesn't make any sense. They're not ranked, but they're in the top 10, the Ken Pom in every analytical category everywhere. So I'm going to go Gonzaga. And I did watch this Tennessee team. I think they're great. They got great guard play. Their coach, Kurt loves him. But I think it's his time to finally get to a big run. So I'm going to go Tennessee gets past Kentucky. So Gonzaga and Tennessee, and Gonzaga 8 seed going to my Final Four.
Real quick, Roy saying the cream rises to the top. And good friend Ernie Mays, go Broncos country only. Go Bo Nix for 6. Where are the Broncos?
Wednesday night. Hope Kurt may
Yep.
be back. We'll see. This is the chalk one for me. I like Houston. I think that they seem they become the powerhouse in the Big 12, and they're close to home there. Wichita in the first couple rounds, and then they'll be playing close to home in the Midwest. I do think they get by a tough Gonzaga team, and then on the bottom, I just don't see much competition for Tennessee. So by default, I'm going to take Tennessee, but I am going to go Houston over Tennessee to get to the Final Four. Kevin Sampson gets to another Final Four, and maybe he gets a national championship there for Houston, who seem to always fly under the radar when you talk national champs. You don't see a lot of people take that Houston team. So keep an eye out to see what their odds are going forward, and a dangerous team maybe flying under the radar. Got one more bracket, and then we'll get our finals and national champs in to wrap it up, fellas. And it's the West. Kurt, we'll let you go last on this one.
Okay.
It's your bracket. I'll go first. I do love this Florida team. It pains me to see all these tough teams that I really liked in this conference. Florida, I liked Memphis. I told Kurt I liked Memphis. Grand Canyon, I've been high on them as a sleeper team. Drake, unfortunately, is in this bracket. And, of course, St. John's. I've been watching I'll go back to the top. Again, I'm going chalky. I like Florida. I think they're going to get there. They're going to get through this bracket. Tough UConn matchup, tough Memphis, Colorado State, whoever they face on the bottom here. Maryland, Grand Canyon is going to be tough, but Florida is going to show their grit, their toughness. They're going to get to the final Elite Eight on the bottom. I think you're going to get Drake make a run, and St. John's is going to be there at the end. And I've been watching St. John's. They're a well-oiled machine, man. They're big in the middle there. Zuby Ejiofor, the kid from Seton Hall, Kurt. I forget his name.
Makari Richmond.
Makari Richmond. They're loaded. They're like I said, they're a machine. They're going to get Drake, and they're going to beat Drake, and it's going to be Florida, St. John's. I'm sorry, I'm going St. John's. I'm doing it. Give me St. John's in the Final Four in a hard-fought game against Florida, and that'll be my Final Four in the West. Carson.
Oh, man. All right. This is really tough. Texas Tech is the weird one. They are very streaky at some points, but I got Texas Tech taking on St. John's, and again, the winner, that's going to be a really good game if that happens. I do have Kurt St. John. He's barely squeaking out. Again, it comes down to coaching in this tournament, and God, this is so tough. Florida and St. John's. Wow. You know what? I'll butter up Kurt. Why not? I'll go St. John's. Listen, Kurt, if you beat Florida in that Elite Eight game, you're winning the national championship.
Let's go.
You know what? That is the money game. I'm seeing everybody in the Elite Eight right now. If St. John's and Florida match up and St. John's beats Florida, they're winning it all.
Hashtag Norfolk State, Kurt. Let's get that first round upset.
Listen, I'll say this again. I've watched, obviously, I'm a diehard St. John's fan, and just a couple of things. One, they're just relentless defensively, relentless. I mean, they're in your face. Two, the thing that I like, and again, if you guys haven't watched the Patino show, Red Storm Rising, it is phenomenal. And he interviewed today Patino, and he was just saying like how he said, my kids don't really have a lot of experience. He said, but I brought him when I said to Marquette, this is the first round game. I'm not taking you out. This game don't mean we're going to play 4 minutes, win the game, win it. Now he goes, okay, now we're into the next round first. And it's like, this guy has been there, and he's the best coach. And by the way, if you guys don't know this, Florida's point guard, Walter Clayton Jr., played at Iona for Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino tried to get him to St. John's last year, and he picked Florida over St. John's because he's from Florida. But listen, It's just something about this team. You know, I watched this team in versus Marquette versus Creighton. It's like they're down 3, down 4. Boom, they're on a 14-0 run. Here they come pressing. I absolutely love this team. I think they have no fear. And you got Rick Pitino, man. Pitino is going to put them in every position. 2 years ago when UConn was dominant, when UConn was the first time they won the national title, you know who gave them the closest game? Iona with Rick Pitino. Pitino is going to put them right there. It's can they make the plays? I'm going St. John's.
Kurt, South and West, you see a potential MSU St. John's Final Four matchup. How
I got it.
would that be?
I got it.
That'd be awesome.
That's what I got.
St. John's, Michigan State. You know what? I got it too. I want to see it. It would be epic to have a K&K sports show. We'll just if that happens, all agenda off. It's all about St. John's and Michigan State.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That's it. You could talk about football, you could talk about basketball, whatever you want to talk about, but it's all St. John's, Michigan State.
Nice.
Carson, your final.
Yeah, man. Wow. I have Auburn and St. John's. I'm going to reverse jinx for Kurt. I'm going to say Auburn gets there, and Alabama and Gonzaga. And I think Bama beats Gonzaga, and it's Auburn, Alabama. And I have Bama as my national champion.
The rival in football for the championship.
God. Would that be awesome?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so Kurt, I'll go first. St. John's, Michigan State. How do I pick a champ out of these two? Do I go with Kurt, who I've known for 45 years, or Carson, who's joined us and became great friends of ours by finding him on his channel, and we became great friends ever since? I can't pick a winner. The lights go out and the game gets canceled. No, to be honest, I would coin flip that. I would not root for a team there if that happened. And unfortunately, one would have to win. For the show, I'll go with the best friend for 45 years. I'll go with Kurt, St. John's. 78-77 in an instant classic. Kurt.
Kenny, you know what? I'm going. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm going Michigan State, St. John's, best two coaches in the country, hands down. Again, I believe that it matters so much with the coaching. Obviously, also they're always a great defensive team. I'm going with defensive players. So I'm going to take St. John's because I guess I'm a homer, right? But I just, like I said, I firmly believe in this team. And just like you said, every level. Listen, RJ Lewis yesterday in a Big East championship game, 27 points in the second half. RJ Lewis, Kadari Richmond, Zuby. They just got every level, and their defense is relentless.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to take St. John's. On the other side, I'm going to take a mirror of St. John's. Again, I am a big fan of Alabama. You know that. I don't want to say that football-wise, but here, I like Oates as a coach. I like Sears. But Houston, the same thing, man. They're just relentless. They're in your face. They'll rebound. I'm taking St. John's and Houston. And Kenny, why not, man? Why not? It's Rick Pitino. You know what? If I don't do it, I'm what's that called? A hypocrite, right? I'm taking my boys. I'm taking St. John's because you know what? Hey, Pitino said it flat out. Pitino said we could lose in the first round and we could win a national title. And you know what? With him, I'll put my money on Rick Pitino any day of the week. So I'm going to take Auburn.
I'm a little different.
I'm taking St. John's.
I forgot to give you my champ pick. I did the St. John's, Michigan. I'm going to go just a little different. I'll go St. John's, Alabama in the final. And we'll go St. John's as well, Kurt. We'll throw a double.
Jody Moncrief is still going Colorado State.
Hey, they're hot, Jody. They got the 12-5. That's there's always a 12-5 upset. So watch out for those Rams. Congrats again. Carson, who are your champs?
I'm gonna go Auburn, Alabama, and Bama.
Oh yeah, that's right. You go in the what is it, Kurt? What's that rival called? In
the Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
The Iron Bowl turns to the
probably 20 times from here until Thursday, but that's who I have now.
All right, boys. I think that is it. Unless you guys want to do something else off the top of your head, we'll mention our bracket one more time in our closing thoughts. But hey, March Madness is here, man. This is the arguably like the best 2-3 weeks in in
Guys, Jody's
sports.
asking where his Notre Dame are seated. That's the girls' bracket. They're probably a 2 seed in the girls' bracket.
When were they ever good in basketball?
When they had the coach, what was his name?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was good. He was good. I forget
was
his
his
name.
name?
I forget his name. Jody,
It was
help us
Pat
out. Coach
Connaughton.
that was there a few years ago. But yeah. All right, Kurt, want to do some final thoughts? We'll mention our bracket challenge again we'll take it away.
Final thoughts, man. I am so pumped up. This has been such an unbelievable season. You know what? It's so exciting too, because if you ask anyone that knows me, I've always Mike Bray was the coach. I've always loved Rick Pitino. I loved him, Kenny, when he was coaching our Knicks in 1988 and 89. I love that style. And I would just be like, if I could ever get him to coach St. John's, and listen, how it happened, it probably didn't, he doesn't want it the way it happened with him, with getting fired at Louisville and all that. But however it worked out, stars aligned, and he's in St. John's. And you know what? He gave a big F you to the committee. You want to keep us home next year? Last year? What do you do? Go out, win the Big East, go win 30 games, and let's go. And you know what he said, which I love? He said, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. He said, I'm ready for the next couple of years. He goes, just wait. We're selling out Madison Square Garden. The best is yet to come for St. John's. And you know what? I'm just excited. 9:45 tip Thursday night. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Kurt, 9:45, you said Thursday?
Yeah.
Nice late one. Good.
Late one. Carson Shear.
Yeah, great show as always, boys. Love talking sports with you all. It's the most wonderful time of the year. If you're a sports gambler, this is our Super Bowl on steroids. We're going to try to somehow get a Clams and Claws show in before Thursday. I don't really know if it's going to happen, but shout out again to Joey Clams. We're going to try to fit in our Wednesday show as well. And enjoy the games, guys. It's going to be freaking awesome. And enjoy the tournament. Like I said, if you guys want to join our free bracket challenge, K&K Sports Night. We put it on every year. Top 3 get prizes. All you got to do is be a follower of my show, Ticket Time, and then obviously here, K&K Sports Talk Show on YouTube or Facebook.
Awesome. And what time are you guys on, Carson?
Yeah, we're going to be live in 20 minutes over on Ticket Time. So we're doing a casino stream over on YouTube and Kick.
Nice. Go check that out. And what time's Michigan State playing?
I think that it's a late game. Let me double check. I think it's like
I hope they're not on Thursday.
I think it's it's Friday. It's a hang on, I'm finding it right now. I think it's a top where the heck is it? It's 10 p.m. on Friday night. It's a late game. Yeah, 10 p.m.
Like the last
Friday.
team to play.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Great. And I just want to say, great job. Like Carson says, the best Super Bowl on steroids if you're a college basketball fan. Good luck to everybody's teams in there. Of course, Carson and Kurt. Good luck to your teams. Wednesday, we'll be back, K&K. I think it's time for a baseball preview show because baseball's coming up in a couple weeks. Next week, actually, the Tokyo series. So we'll set that up with everybody, get a little baseball preview in. And we'll see everybody then. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll